Hi, Anthony. Marco here from Sweden.
Marco.
Nice to have you here on board. And I'm in Sweden. Where are you?
I'm in Australia, on the bottom of the world where we walk on our heads.
Okay.
So,
do you have any kangaroos around?
no, we've put them away for the moment, so we're okay.
Okay.
Yep.
That's great. That's great. So,
Wow.
Thank you for joining this session. And I would like to talk a little bit about how we met online and why we're having this conversation.
Yeah, it was quite amazing, wasn't it? Because you reached out to me on LinkedIn, and well, you tell the story.
Yeah, well, I saw this IT guy within business coaching and some sales skills. So I thought, oh, this guy is interesting. So I said, just sent you a hello, how are you? How is business going? And I knew also that you just recently started with your business consulting, right?
So it was really interesting what you reached out to me for, because I have a bit of an unusual combination of skills, if you like. I have a very strong IT background, but I also have recently developed. I'm from outside the sales world, and I've recently been learning all about sales, which I hated and I was scared of. Yeah.
So you're not the regular sales guy. You're not a sales expert then.
Oh no. I would say I'm a sales amateur. So if you're a sales guy, you're an Olympic swimmer. Okay, let's say that you're the gold medalist or maybe silver medalist. You always room for improvement in the 100 meters gold or 100 meters Olympics. Then I'm the guy up the other end of the pool, just too scared to dip my toes in the water. Okay.
Okay, but
yeah.
Anyway,
so,
you started to learn more about sales, and you need to dig into it because you started your own business. And this is also why I found our last conversation. We talked to each other last week. Very interesting, because the same phenomena in Sweden as in Australia. People are dead afraid of
yes.
sales and what that means for them. So that was fascinating to find out that only the word sales can make people shiver and freeze to death or something. And how come do you think that sales is so? Yeah. What is your thought about that?
Well, every single course I think that I've ever seen on sales, and every book, all begins with sales is not about the used car salesman. You know, that they give you what the wrong view of sales is, and then that's not what it's about. It's about listening and about empathy and about solving a problem and this sort of thing. But of course, we've all got bad experiences with selling, where we've been sold things, or people have pressured us, or the close, you know, tried to manipulate us maybe. And I said, well, look, people probably have bad experiences of IT as well. But that doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean that every IT person is bad, or that all doctors are bad. So we really want to start with what the aim is, and it's fascinating that so many people put themselves under pressure, and they put their clients under pressure as well in a sales conversation. So that's like the very first mistake, as far as I can see.
Yeah, I think you touched base on a very important task. I think that the experience, some way or another, everybody more or less has had a bad sales experience. Either you have not got any service at all when you walk into a store or whatever, or you have this pushy salesman who actually does everything he can in his powers and all the sales techniques and stuff that he does in order to get the contract or the order. So I think that is probably the main reason people are scared to death for sales, don't you think?
Yeah, because I don't want to be that guy. And so if I'm selling to you, I'm like I want to solve your problem,
yeah,
which I really do. I want it to be a win for you and a win for me, the classic win-win that we speak about. But if I'm thinking, no, you don't want to pay me, it's not really valuable to you, I'm punishing you by you paying me. Now, this is a bad thing for you.
yeah.
Then I'm not really aligned with you. I'm not really seeing, what's the good for you. All I'm seeing it's me versus you. All right, you're the enemy, and I have to beat you. And that's such a poor view of what real true selling is.
Yeah.
I've been very, very fortunate because I have met some people who in Australia are, as far as I can see, are very, very good, qualified, very real leaders. I would consider them in sales. Now, some of them, I've just been amazed at their, how can I say, their compassion, their empathy, their ability to give time to me and not actually sell me anything. They just invite. They earn the right, as one of them says, earn the right to take the next step.
Yeah. I heard that you have some new knowledge and some new skills within sales. I don't consider myself as a salesperson as well. I've been a business owner for 20 years, and I needed to learn sales in order to have my business going, because without sales there is no business. So in that way, you need to learn the skills of sales, even though you don't like to be the pushy salesman. But there are other ways, as you talk, and we call it consultative sales, or you try to find the best solution for the customer.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's included that you say, well, I'm not the right person for this job, I would recommend another company. So and this way you gain trust and you give the correct and right service for the people you serve.
So this was a really big mind shift for me. I thought that when I got into a conversation, I was putting myself under pressure. I was putting my prospect under pressure. I've got to make this sale, and I panicked. I was nervous. We were having a great building rapport, that was fine, and understanding their problem, that was good. I didn't really dig into their real goals, but I started to do that, and to the value. Well, look, how important is this for you to solve this problem? But then when it came to the money part, pressure.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it was like I've got a monkey on my back, on my shoulder, saying, "No, you've got to close this deal."
Yeah.
And it was not fair. It was not fair to my client. It was not fair to me, and it didn't work. And one of my sales mentors pointed out to me, he said, "Look, the aim is not to make the sale." I said, "What?" He said, "No, the aim is not to make the sale. The aim is to get to the truth. Is this a good fit? Does it make sense for us to keep talking?
Yeah.
Would you like to know what the next step is?
Yeah.
Are you okay if I offer you something? Would this be a good time?" It was very, very different from this idea that I've got to, somehow I've got to learn this trick to get them to sign before it's too late, and then they'll regret it. And so, because I was so afraid of hearing the word no, I was not able to get a yes.
Yeah.
And now I tell people, look, all we're really doing is helping people to make a good decision. And if that good decision is do nothing, fantastic. If that good decision is go with somebody else, that's totally fine. If that good decision is to use me, we'll say, okay, great. Well, how is that going to work?
Yeah.
How do we do that? What is the next step? And really, what is the outcome? You and I spoke last week a lot about outcomes.
Yeah, I think you have in a very short time period actually understood what sales is all about, and but there is also if we leave that part for a second and talk about how sales has developed, and I mean, there is a different customer behavior with technical devices like smartphones, and you have the internet, etc. So today the buying journey is different from before, and also that has come to that sales needs to adapt and change in order to be relevant for these people. So one thing that is really much talked about today is social selling, and I use social selling as one of my main strategies in order to prospect and to find leads for my business. So what is your thoughts about social selling and a new way of finding prospects than just doing cold calls to anybody?
Yeah. So of course, for me, I'm as unqualified as anybody to talk about this, because I haven't worked in a sales team. A lot of the literature, a lot of the podcasts, a lot of the kind of the advice that I'm reading, the books and so on, they are good, but they seem to be directed at sales professionals.
Yeah.
And I think, well, look, I'm not a sales professional. I'm just happy to be an amateur. Amateur in the true sense of the word. That comes from the Latin amar, which means to love. Yeah. And so I'm actually even liking and almost loving sales. And so you just get to enjoy it. So in that sense, social selling is a very social thing. It's people have already seen me. They've already seen especially I'm very active on LinkedIn. And so I'm not a stranger to them. We've already broken the ice even before I contacted them.
Yeah.
And so that makes it a lot easier. It's not really a cold call at all.
Exactly. And I must ask you, because I reached out to you. We didn't really have a lot of contact before. And then a week ago, I reached out to you, and
yes,
some way or another, I caught your interest. What was your thoughts when I first contacted you?
Well, you used a very interesting sentence, I think. And the first was, I thought, is this guy a sales guy? Is he trying to get me to get leads for my business? I was not that interested. But then you said something that really got my curiosity. You said, I'd like to share with you some of my insights into the market. I think you said something like that.
Yeah. And
that sounded very non-threatening. It was not, we have got these many leads, or we've got this much business, or we have this platform. You didn't sell me your solution. Do you want to be part of this solution as well? But you said, can I share with you some insights? And that was, I really appreciated that you reached out in that way. Yeah. And so I responded with, yeah, look, let's line up a call. And I was thinking that maybe you were going to sell something to me. And I was thinking that maybe I could sell something to you. And then we agreed, not sell anything to anyone. Let's just make some videos.
Yeah. And that's why we're here today. I mean, by reaching out to prospects and leads out there, I mean, and providing them value. I mean, if I'm doing sales 8 to 12 hours a day, I'm working with sales and marketing and strategies and social selling, etc. And I live this every day. So I think that if I can share some
Yes.
of that, if I can share some of that knowledge with business owners or with consultants or with coaches or whatever, because I know it's difficult today to break through, because everybody's on social media, everybody's doing the same thing in a way, but everybody's shouting about their product or their platform or their service or whatever, and then that's not interesting. So when you provide value first and you give first, you actually attract the people that might be interested in your offer. So also I'm genuinely interested in people and to learn to know them and about their business, because this teaches me a lot as well. Every time I have a discussion or a chat with somebody, they're probably expert in one area where I'm not, and I can learn new stuff. I can learn new things to add to my arsenal and to understand the market even better. So every conversation has a possibility to learn me some new things.
Oh yes.
So this is a good
Yes.
way to reach out to people. Not every conversation will lead to a business deal or whatever, but it could be a new collaboration. It could be I know somebody who you should talk to or whatever, introduce you to someone. So there's so many things that
Yes.
can happen in a conversation, and sometimes I get a little bit frustrated because I know I can give so much value to many business owners out there, and it's not about the selling part. It's about giving them something that they need, and they're not even interested talking to me. So sometimes I find that frustrating, the ignorance or the 3-year-old. I know my stuff. I know my business. I know everything kind of mentality. So.
Right.
Yeah. So, but
Well,
I cannot help everybody.
One thing that I have found.
Yeah.
One thing I have found is just, you mentioned the 3-year-old, and we have a few children, my wife and I, so we have had a few 3-year-olds, and 3-year-olds are intensely curious, and they're asking questions about little things. I remember when one of my sons was about that age, he was just opening a drawer and closing it again just to see how it worked. I thought, oh, maybe he's going to become a carpenter or a mechanic or something. He hasn't, but it's just that curiosity and that interest in people and that willingness to stretch outside of your to stretch away from your peers. And what you also mentioned about adding value, that can be done. That doesn't mean that you have to be, writing a proposal or creating your own content even. You may be sharing somebody else's content. You may be, sometimes I will share a podcast and will say, look, I've listened to this podcast before. Just listen to the section starting in 20 minutes in. There's about 3 minutes, which is completely relevant to what we just spoke about. It's not even a podcast that I have been on, but that's a great way of adding value, of giving some feedback and not overwhelming people with information too.
Great stuff. Great stuff. I thought of one thing before this conversation, and I was like, we should call this something. We should have a name for this. I mean, I'm in Sweden, you're in Australia, and I know that Australia is a little bit exotic for for Swedish people, and you have the kangaroos and stuff, and the opera house in Sydney, and some great beer like Foster's and crocodiles and stuff. So it's a little bit exotic. So I was thinking we should come up with a name for this program. Who knows where this is going? So do you have any suggestions?
Oh my goodness! So it's really the Sweden Australia, yeah, like it's like a kangaroo hop, the Swedish kangaroo or something. It's
Swedish
so you're
kangaroo.
jumping from
I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down.
because you're jumping.
The Swedish kangaroo.
All right, you write it down. So the Swedish kangaroo, or it's really, I'm sure it's a metaphor really for what we do in selling, is that it's never a home game. All right, you're always playing on somebody else's field. You're trying to understand you're going to try to see the world through their eyes. Yeah. You're trying to understand and still maybe shed some light as well. But I'm trying to speak Swedish, if you like, and you're trying to speak Aussie. We're trying to see things through the other one's eyes. And that's really a good metaphor for how we sell, I think, because we're not there to push. We're not there to turn you into not there to force things, but we're really trying to understand what it's like on the other side. What is like on the other side of the world, on the top of the world, and you're asking what it's like down under.
Yeah. I asked you last time. Is there a, because you said that it's like, is it like winter time now?
Oh, you have no idea how cold it is. It's like it's nighttime here now. It's morning time for you, and so it is 14 degrees here in the middle of winter on a nighttime. That's cold enough for us. Yeah. With 14 degrees Celsius, so that's what, 57 Fahrenheit. And so when I speak to my Canadian friends or to friends in Sweden, they think that's not very cold, but for us that's cold enough.
We actually had the best summer ever in Sweden. We have between 25 and 30 degrees for almost 3 months here. So we had a really great summer, probably the best ever in Swedish history.
Okay, well, yeah. So we'll be getting some of your warmth soon. We'll be coming into spring soon, and then you can go back and be freezing, because we say freezing when it's like 10 degrees. Yeah. Even if it's not freezing technically, it's not 32 Fahrenheit, but 10 degrees. All the children we walk around, we say it's freezing, meaning that it's cold.
Yeah, that's not cold. I mean, in Sweden, when we have really cold winters, 20 degrees minus. It could be a regular day in wintertime in southern part of Sweden. Sweden is pretty. It's a long country, so up in the northern Sweden, there's probably snow until April, May, perhaps, and. Here in Gothenburg, where I stay, we have pretty mild winters, so it's around 0 degrees usually. So yeah, but I like the Swedish kangaroo. It was a good suggestion.
Well, that's the start, but it's but being good salespeople, we should do the right thing. We should not push our name onto people. We should invite them. We should ask them. Why don't we ask the audience what?
Yeah, we could ask the audience. What does the audience say? Do you have any suggestions for the name of the show? And you said another thing here. Good.
Oh, what was it?
Good salespeople. How
good salespeople.
How about that? Good salespeople. Everybody wants to be you want to be good at sales, and you want to be a good person, right? So
okay,
good salespeople could be one as well. So we have, this is number 1, the Swedish kangaroo. This is number 2, good salespeople, and number 3, I would like everybody's watching this show to send their own comments just down below. Just comment what you think that the show should be called. And
you know what I think?
Yeah, tell me.
Marco, it's almost like I'm reaching out to you and you're reaching out from the North Pole to me, and we're shaking hands across
Yeah, let's
across
do
the
that.
hemisphere.
Let's do that. Yeah, great. So that's great. I really enjoyed the conversation, and it was a short one. And I hope we can continue to talk to each other like this once in a while. We don't need to set up a schedule or anything, but let's have contact, Anthony. And I really enjoyed this conversation. And even last time I said hello to your daughters. They were in the background last time, and they heard some Swedish from me, and they had to try to guess where I was from, and they guessed
what country you were from.
Yeah,
where did they
like Italian
Uganda?
Guy, or Polish,
Italian.
or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
And then you said the magic word. You said ABBA. Or
yeah.
IKEA and ABBA, and then they found out that it was from Sweden. So it's great.
That's right. So
yes.
we have IKEA here, and we also have snow in winter.
Yeah.
We do have, not in Sydney, but we do have the snowy mountains, and we do have some snow, some ski resorts, but it's very expensive to go there because there's not a lot of snow. You'll have to send me some.
I will take some pictures whenever we have snow again. I will send you some pictures and show how much snow we have, so you can see for yourself. Send some videos to your family.
That's great.
Yeah. So finally, I would like to ask you if somebody's getting into sales, they're pretty new to, they don't have the experience from business, they don't have the experience from sales.
Yes.
Do you have any books that that you could recommend for the audience, the first timers, the beginners, the ones who hasn't been into sales that much? Do you have any suggestions on books they should read? Sure.
Well, the one that I like to recommend for that, it's probably more marketing than sales, but if you're coming from the outside, you know, that's very helpful as well. And that's the brain audit. The brain audit. Why customers buy and why they don't buy, by Sean D'Souza. Yeah. Right. So we can include a link to that, to the brain audit, and to Sean's website. That's one that I find really breaks it down very, very well into how people think, and really focusing on the client's problem rather than on your solution. Because when you come with if you start with your solution, that's a little bit like me saying, Marco, I am a dentist. Can I interest you in some root canal surgery?
Absolutely not.
So you don't want to lead with the solution. You really want to understand, well, do you actually need this in the first place?
Yeah.
And I may be a great dentist. I may give you excellent root canal surgery, and maybe you even need it. But if you don't know, if you don't even know that yet, then we need to start from what you're feeling and what pain you're going through, and what's the good result that you're after, not my solution. Yeah.
Great. Let's make that the last words for this session, and a good recommendation of a book there. I will definitely look into it, and I have some vacation now, so I have time to read. So I will find time to read more during my vacation. So thank you very much again, Anthony. Nice talking to you, and speak to you soon.
Thanks, Marco.
Take care. Bye-bye.